The 12th of January, 2016, Persian Gulf. Two U.S. Navy Riverine Command Boats drifted into Iranian territorial waters. Mechanical failure, navigation error, wrong place, wrong time. 10 U.S. Marines aboard, heavily armed, classified equipment, communication gear, weapons systems. Iranian Revolutionary Guard patrol boats surrounded them. Dozens of armed Iranian soldiers, guns pointed, demanding surrender. The Iranians thought they'd captured a propaganda prize. Humiliate America, parade Marines on television, extract intelligence from equipment. What happened next taught Iran a brutal lesson. You don't grab U.S. Marines without facing overwhelming American response. Within hours, Iran released the Marines, apologized, never tried anything similar again. This is the story of how Iran learned that some prisoners aren't worth taking. U.S. Navy Riverine Command Boats, or CBs, are specialized vessels designed for coastal and river operations, not deep water ships. Small, fast, heavily armed. Length, 49 feet. Crew, 5 personnel. Top speed, 45 knots. That's over 50 miles per hour on water. Armed with 6 M250 caliber machine guns, Mk-19 automatic grenade launchers, M240 medium machine guns. Enough firepower to engage small vessels and shore targets effectively. These boats operate in shallow waters where larger Navy vessels can't go. Patrol coastal areas, conduct reconnaissance, support special operations, interdict smuggling. In the Persian Gulf, riverine boats conduct critical missions, protecting oil infrastructure, monitoring Iranian activity, escorting commercial vessels through contested waters. The 12th of January, 2016. Two RCBs transiting from Kuwait to Bahrain. Routine movement between U.S. naval bases. Crews trained, equipment checked, standard operation. But something went wrong. One boat developed engine problems. Navigation systems malfunctioned. GPS showed incorrect position. The boats drifted off course. By the time crews realized the error, they'd crossed into Iranian territorial waters near Farsi Island. Iranian Revolutionary Guard naval base. Worst possible location. Iranian patrol boats detected them immediately. Radar contact, visual identification. American vessels in Iranian waters. Opportunity Iran couldn't resist. The Iranian Revolutionary Guard operates differently than conventional military. They're ideologically driven, aggressive, looking for confrontations with America. Farsi Island houses IRGC naval forces specifically trained to harass U.S. Navy vessels. Small boats, armed crews, tactics designed to provoke without triggering full-scale military response. When Iranian radar operators detected American boats in their territorial waters, they saw opportunity, not a threat. An intelligence windfall. 6 Iranian patrol boats launched from Farsi Island. Fast attack craft, armed with heavy machine guns and RPGs. Crews wearing IRGC uniforms, cameras recording everything. They surrounded the American RCBs. Guns pointed. Officers shouting in Farsi and broken English, demanding Americans surrender. Hands up, weapons down. The Marine crews faced an impossible situation. 2 boats against 6. Both boats experienced mechanical issues. Deep inside Iranian territorial waters. No immediate support available. The senior Marine aboard assessed options. Fighting meant bloodshed on both sides, maybe starting a war. Americans were technically violating Iranian waters due to navigation error. Surrendering avoided casualties, while diplomats sorted the mess. He made the call: stand down, comply with Iranian demands, protect his Marines' lives, let higher command handle the situation. Marines raised hands, placed weapons on deck, allowed Iranian soldiers to board and seize control. The Iranians immediately began filming. Propaganda footage showing armed Americans detained, kneeling, hands behind heads, Iranian flags visible. Maximum humiliation. They confiscated weapons, communications equipment, took photographs of sensitive systems, interrogated Marines about their mission, where they came from, where they were going, what equipment they carried. The Iranians believed they'd won propaganda victory. Images would broadcast worldwide. America was humiliated. Iran triumphant. They were wrong. They'd just triggered a response they couldn't handle. Within minutes of the seizure, U.S. Central Command detected the situation. Riverine boats had automated distress beacons. When crews activated them, alarms sounded at command centers across the region. The initial report was brief. 2 RCBs, 10 Marines, seized by Iranian forces near Farsi Island. Status unknown. Communications lost. Pentagon leadership faced a nightmare scenario. Americans captured by Iran. Hostile power known for prisoner abuse. Potential for torture. Show trials. Years of captivity. Secretary of Defense Ash Carter convened an emergency meeting. Chairman of Joint Chiefs. CENTCOM Commander. Secretary of State John Kerry. Options needed immediately. Military options were developed within the hour. Option 1. Immediate rescue operation. Navy SEALs launched from nearby ships. Air support from carrier-based aircraft. Extract Marines by force. High risk. Potential casualties. Possible escalation to wider conflict. Option 2. Overwhelming show of force. Position naval assets near Iranian waters. Demand immediate release. Implicit threat of military action if Marines are harmed. Option 3. Diplomatic pressure through existing channels. Use back-channel communications established during nuclear deal negotiations. Secure release through negotiation. The administration chose a combination of options 2 and 3. Apply maximum military pressure while negotiating diplomatically. USS Harry S. Truman Carrier Strike Group altered course, heading toward Iranian waters. F.A. 18 Super Hornets launched. Combat Air Patrol establishing dominance over the region. 2 guided missile destroyers moved to positions off the Iranian coast. Tomahawk cruise missiles ready to launch. Targeting data updated for Iranian military facilities. The message to Iran was clear. Release the Marines now, or face consequences. Secretary of State John Kerry immediately contacted Iranian Foreign Minister Mohammad Javad Zarif. Direct phone call. Urgent tone. Your forces have detained American sailors in distress. This was navigation error, not intentional violation. Release them immediately before this escalates. Zarif claimed ignorance initially. Would investigate. Would contact IRGC commanders. Would respond shortly. But the IRGC doesn't answer to Iran's civilian government. They report directly to the supreme leader. Operate independently. Often deliberately sabotage diplomatic efforts. IRGC leadership saw the seizure as propaganda opportunity and leverage. They wanted to extract maximum value, parade Marines on television, force American apology, demonstrate Iranian power. What the IRGC didn't fully appreciate was American military response developing simultaneously with diplomatic efforts. U.S. intelligence agencies intercepted Iranian military communications. Translation teams worked frantically. Reports indicated IRGC planned to move Marines from Farsi Island to mainland Iran. Longer detention, more extensive interrogation, public propaganda event. That was unacceptable. The Pentagon established a red line. Marines must be released from Farsi Island. If moved to mainland Iran, a rescue operation would launch immediately. CENTCOM positioned forces for the rescue scenario. SEAL team ready. Helicopters fueled. Air support coordinated. Strike packages prepared to destroy Iranian air defenses. Iranian intelligence detected the American military buildup, ships moving, aircraft launching, heightened readiness posture. Iranian military commanders recognized the danger. This wasn't routine detention. Americans were preparing military action, real action, not bluffing. The Iranian Supreme Leader's office received an urgent briefing. The IRGC had detained American Marines. The Pentagon was positioning forces for a potential rescue operation. The situation could escalate to armed conflict within hours. The Supreme Leader faced a decision: keep the Marines and risk military confrontation, or release them and avoid American attack. The calculation was straightforward. 10 detained Marines weren't worth war with the United States. Iran's military would lose decisively. Oil facilities destroyed, naval forces decimated, the economy crippled. The release order came from the top. IRGC commanders were furious. They'd barely begun exploiting the propaganda opportunity, but the Supreme Leader's orders were absolute. Less than 16 hours after seizure, Iranians released the Marines, returned them to their boats, allowed them to depart Iranian waters. The Marines were unharmed, humiliated, angry, but physically safe. No torture, no abuse beyond interrogation and propaganda filming. Iranian media released footage and photographs, Americans kneeling, hands behind heads. Iranian narrative claimed magnanimous release. Iran showed mercy to lost Americans. American media focused on different angles: navigation failure, mechanical problems, Marines in difficult situations, released through diplomatic channels. Neither side told a complete story. Iran captured Americans. The Pentagon prepared a military rescue. Iran blinked first, released prisoners rather than face overwhelming American military response. The Marine detention incident triggered multiple investigations and policy changes. U.S. Navy conducted thorough review of Riverine Command Boat operations, navigation procedures, equipment reliability, communication protocols. Findings were damning. Maintenance issues caused mechanical failures. One boat's engine hadn't been properly serviced. Navigation systems lacked adequate backup redundancy. GPS equipment showed signs of previous malfunction that hadn't been reported. Crews didn't follow proper position checking protocols, failed to recognize position errors quickly enough. Several officers received administrative punishment for negligence. The boat commanders were relieved of duty. Their immediate supervisors received letters of reprimand, career-ending actions for what should have been a routine transit. Navigation training was completely overhauled fleet-wide. Equipment upgrade programs accelerated. New protocols established requiring multiple independent position verification methods. Backup systems made mandatory. Regular position reporting to command centers instituted. The Navy didn't hide from its failures. The investigation report, though partially redacted for operational security, acknowledged systemic problems: equipment maintenance lapses, training deficiencies, leadership failures at multiple levels. This honest self-assessment added credibility. The incident wasn't just Iran bad, America good. It was complex. American mistakes created the situation, but American military power and diplomatic pressure resolved it. Iran tried to grab 10 U.S. Marines and immediately regretted it. Not because Marines escaped, not because Iran suffered casualties, because the American response was immediate and overwhelming. Within hours, the carrier strike group was repositioned. Destroyers moved into launch positions. SEALs prepared for rescue. Aircraft established air superiority. Iran faced potential military action they couldn't win. The message was unmistakable. You can harass American vessels. You can make provocative maneuvers. You can create incidents. But you don't take American military prisoners without facing consequences. Iran realized that 10 Marines weren't worth risking the survival of their entire navy. Their regime, their economy, every calculation pointed toward release. Keep the prisoners? Face American military strikes that would cripple Iran's ability to defend itself or project power in the region. This is deterrence, not preventing all hostile actions, preventing actions that cross critical thresholds, making certain behaviors too costly to attempt. Iran still harasses the US Navy in the Persian Gulf, still conducts aggressive operations, but they've never again tried to seize American military personnel. Lesson learned. Some prisoners aren't worth taking. The cost exceeds any conceivable benefit. When Iran tried to grab 10 US Marines, they thought they'd won propaganda victory. Humiliate America, show Iranian power, extract intelligence from captured equipment. Instead, they triggered overwhelming American military response. Carrier strike groups repositioning, destroyers preparing strikes, SEALs ready for rescue operation. Iran released the Marines within 16 hours, not through goodwill, through fear. Fear of what the Pentagon would do if Marines weren't released immediately. The Iranians got propaganda footage. Americans kneeling, hands behind heads, temporary victory. But Americans got their Marines back, unharmed. Within hours, no concessions, no negotiations, just an overwhelming force that made releasing prisoners the only rational choice. Iran learned what every adversary eventually learns. You don't take American military prisoners, because the response will be immediate, overwhelming, and unstoppable. And the cost of keeping those prisoners is higher than any value they provide. If you want more stories about military operations, crisis response, and how American forces handle hostage situations, hit that subscribe button for Battlescope. And if you think this incident was tense, you need to see what happened when China tried to steal a US Navy underwater drone. Click the video on your screen right now to watch that story next. Don't forget to smash that like button and drop a comment below. Should the Marines have resisted capture, or was surrender the right tactical decision? Thanks for watching. Stay sharp, stay informed, and remember, taking prisoners is easy, keeping them is hard.